And those are live pictures from the Dome at the forecourt of Parliament. That will be the venue for the inauguration of President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, and the Vice President-elect Dr. Bawumia. There we still have in studio Madam Esther Tewia. She's the Executive Director, Agenda Center for Empowering Development. We also have Elom Maoli Kwawu. He's an affiliate, Institute of African Studies, University of Ghana. This program is live on Ghana Television, live on GBC News, Obonu TV. We're also live on radio. We're also live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You can send us your thoughts and views via our WhatsApp line, which will be displayed on the screens pretty shortly. And so before we went for that short break, where we were taking just your thoughts about how the whole process has panned out. Maybe you want to conclude, then we finish off.
Yeah, so for a lot of people, the job of Parliament has not been very well acquitted. They have not dispensed their responsibilities as people who are supposed to have some responsibility regards the proper scrutiny of bills from the executive, and that is because the executive has always used the numbers to bulldoze their ways. So what we've seen has been hasty legislation, and also legislators who will usually not show up on the floor of Parliament. That is also because of the nature of ministerial parliamentary appointment, where about 50% of ministers must come from Parliament. So what we are likely to see in the next couple of years, some more responsibility, would see more scrutiny, would see that the quality of legislation is elevated, would see that it will be very difficult to have bills like Ijapa PDS being rubber stamped. And this is also a win for the people who demonstrated by way of protest when they voted out a lot of the members of Parliament who had lost their seats. And so it is now incumbent on the National Democratic Congress to really give or credit the people with the kind of hope and also the harbinger they are having that this Parliament will be quite different. They would bring some quality to the floor, and also the people's verdict and decision, and also what they look out for in the parliamentarians, they would get it. So for me, it's a lot of hope, it's a lot of ambition. I'm looking forward to seeing some elevation in our democracy, and of course this is also another testament and a feather in our cap that when it matters most, it might take long, but when it really matters, the people can really make very good decisions.
So from this particular establishment, you don't see a situation where consensus building then means that the two parties get in bed, and so they will pass deals like the Ijapa and the PDS deal. It is not possible.
I was having that argument with Esther before we came on set, telling her that the NDC having majority doesn't mean that they are not going to work with the NPP, because of course when it comes
but
to...
they don't have a majority.
No,
nobody has.
But of course they have a marginal majority, a very slim one.
How is that?
How is that?
From the voting we've seen.
From the voting for the Speaker of Parliament, and not for members of Parliament, which was decided by the people. So MPs elect, who later became MPs, voted 138 against 136 and one
so you know the conversation is that there's a flip side.
Sure.
And there are some rogue elements maybe who may, because if we have 137 MPs apiece for both parties, and then the NPP gets 136, it means possibly, potentially, at least one person from the NPP, maybe. That's not to suggest that every single person, presumably they did, but if everybody voted based on gut and not party, there is still one member from the NPP who did not step up to the party's plate.
Sure.
And so that changes the narrative a little, because 137 technically with Phomina as an independent candidate does not leave any clear majority or minority.
Okay, fine. Let me leave the nominal argument and focus on functional argument,
right.
Especially when you have majority of the parliamentarians who would be carrying out ministerial duties. That leaves the NDC in parliament to concentrate on the business of the day. That is one. Number two, there are a lot of legislations that are bipartisan, social issues, health issues, education issues, which affect the core of the people. I'm sure that it would not be left to too much of the politics. Of course, if people would have to be given free water, free electricity during COVID-19, I do not think that that should be heckled so much or spanners thrown in the works of the ruling government. But then again, the ruling government have used these interventions to plug into their own popularity and audience reception as a government or a party that cares about the people and all of that. So the kind of money and amounts they approve, that is why we would want the NDC to come in to subject these financial disbursements to proper scrutiny. Because if you disburse money, how much are you allocating to water, to electricity? Because we will need proper question time where CEOs of state institutions, ministers appear before the committee of the House to explain to us, the people, how these monies were used. And if the numbers are almost split in the middle, these things will be very, very much encouraging, right. And it will lend so much credence
the EC chair will be facing the House pretty shortly.
Sure.
And it will be interesting to see how that session in particular plays out, considering what we've seen throughout the evening.
Yeah. Right. So maybe you want to join in.
You see, my brother said something a while ago that majority of the MPs are going to be ministers and the business is going to be left for the NDC. I think parliamentary work resides at the committee level. You understand? And committee level work, everybody knows the time and all that. And I don't think that almost all the MPs who will be given ministerial position would want to absent themselves from committee work, because that's where parliament work really resides. Now, my whole take is that every executive would want a very overwhelmingly majority so that they can have, because there are certain sensitive committees that you would want you would want a higher number of your people there so that things will not be difficult as it stands now. But for me, he's talking about certain free water and all that. Those things really doesn't go to parliament, because there are certain executive instruments that gives the president the power to act on behalf of the people when the people need it the most. You understand? What the executive then does is that they go back to parliament to tell parliament that in this critical moment when Ghanaians needed help, this is what I was able to do. This is how much we have spent. Then the oversight role of parliament then comes in. So if you have the opposition in 2020, they were asking for an audit of the COVID-19 fund, sure, because that is where their role then comes in. Now for me, I see that this is the only chance for NDC to prove itself to Ghanaians that, hey, next 4 years, should in case the court proceedings doesn't go their way, next 4 years, we are ready for you. We want to be the people that you can rely on. And so they are going to use parliament as their base to kind of project themselves, sure, their party and everything. So it's like he said, a Japa, and it's not going to go through just like that. The 15-year bond that went through easily is not going to happen, because even now the Phomina MP has declared his position that he wants to sit with the MPP. So there's only one person, you understand, and you can't tell me that you have full parliament all the time to vote on issues. Definitely you're not going to. And so this is the time that the NDC is going to capitalize on it and make sure that they are all the time present, they are all the time presenting sensitive information to Ghanaians and explaining it to Ghanaians that we are doing this in your interest, because this is what they want to do. And because they don't have the majority like before, they can't do it again. So for me, this is the first time that the checks and balance rule of law is really if they take the opportunity, this is the first time that is going to really play out so well, that the executive does not really dictate to Parliament. You know, like on the unlikely event that the president has traveled, the vice president has traveled, you have an opposition person as the president.
It's not an unlikely event.
Okay. As a president, you understand, as a president, and there are situations where you might have cabinet meetings or sensitive meetings that you need the speaker to be there. You understand? How do you tell the speaker the way to go where the speaker is not coming from your camp? That is very, very, very sensitive. And so this 8th Parliament and this fourth Republican, it's going to be a very interesting. It's presenting Ghanaians when we talk about power, and I mean, if you compare what happened to the U.S. In the U.S. for the last 4 years, where you have Nancy Pelosi, who is from the Democrats, being the speaker, and you have a president who is a Republican, and you could see how everything was scrutinized. Every action of Trump was not taken for granted. The American people got to know almost everything, things they were never privy to, because Democrats needed to prove to the Americans that, hey, we have your interest, we are watching this man for you. And that's exactly what the NDC is going to be doing in Ghana. And so for me, I think that we have to be happy as Ghanaians, and we have to really, this is the time that we need to open the democratic, the civic space to give voices, for voices to be heard. Because in a way, if you are not careful, the executive would also try to have its way closing the civic space, so people don't get the chance to speak as much as they ought to, so that they can have their way. But this is the time that we all have to be vigilant and watch the activities and the proceedings of the executive, so that certain key things that Ghanaians are enjoying will not be undermined, because it will be a heckle between the two in Parliament. I don't know how it's going to play out today, if they are going to be seated to be part of the inauguration, but we live to see how it's going to happen. So for me, I think that we have a very good system for once in Ghana, and I'm happy to say that if Parliament wants us to take them serious, if they don't want us to continue saying that they are a rubber stamp Parliament and that they don't have the interest of Ghanaians at heart, this is the time for them to really do their watchdog, implement the things that the laws they have made, make sure that they oversee the executive's activity and bring to bear what the executive is doing that is not good in the interest of Ghanaians, for us to debate on it.
Right. So it looks like it's almost set for the inaugural ceremony. I want to know who is seated at the left and who is seated at the right. And then when they return to the main part, the chamber, who goes to the right and who goes to the left? So is it going to be like he who comes first occupies the right, and then you? But how is it going to be like?
I think that we have to really caution our members of Parliament. That's disgraceful. Let's be honest with ourselves. You are there to represent your people. The number we have seen, 137 and all that, seeing people sitting on people's lap, people standing in the middle of Parliament and all that, the lawlessness and all that, I think it is just uncalled for. For me, the Parliament secretariatship has to step up to their game. They shouldn't be afraid of the politicians. You have a role to play. You are being paid by the taxpayers' money, Ghanaian taxpayers' money, to be at the Parliament House, to make sure there is order there, to make sure that the people that we have voted for to represent us in the House are provided with the adequate information and the procedures they need. You can't be only succumbing to their whims and caprices and the things they do. I think that it's not only the politicians you have to blame, but the people who work at the Parliament House, the clerks and the whatever, they have to step up. But you see, something very interesting happened yesterday night, and I was telling my brother a while ago, as last night, as the whole day yesterday, we didn't have government. We didn't have a president. We didn't have a minister. We didn't have anybody. There wasn't government in place. The only person who was in charge was the Chief Justice. And I don't know who gave that instruction for the military to enter our Parliament House. Can't the police force do that job that the military was asked to do? And that was a very serious thing to our democracy.
I think that's
anything could have happened. You understand? So I think the Chief Justice really disappointed Ghanaians, because yesterday he was our father. As at yesterday, he was our leader. Anything, he could have made a law yesterday and we would have obeyed it till today. So I think it was a very distasteful thing. And I think that some of our men in uniform also have to know what the law says in terms of this transition and what their responsibilities, their duties are. Right. Sometimes when the fact that there's a change and the change is not a change to another government and it's the same government, the assumption is that, oh, he's the minister, so if he calls us, we have to still obey. No, we have to obey the law. Just like it's happening in America that we are talking about. They are saying you are not in charge. We have elected a president. Until the president is sworn in, this is the procedure. Our men in uniform need to know the law, so that when you are called, you are not being used to cause mayhem. So any of the members, if he had any ulterior motive, it could have been a coup in Ghana. And the Fourth Republic that we have enjoyed for the past over 25 years would have been just gone,
right.
Just with a clip of
right.
You know.
So Elom, one of the features of this particular parliament is the entrance of about 123 new MPs.
Yeah.
Does it have any effect on the quality of work that is going to go on in the House? And also, has it come to that point where we side with those who say that some people need to be protected, like the Asibeyabwas, like the Ochima Boajes, who have experience when it comes to finance and what have you? Has it gotten to that point where we protect some people in Parliament so the quality doesn't keep reducing?
Well, the basis of election into Parliament itself is competition. And of course, the contest of ideas does not only start on the floor, but in the constituency. So if anyone is elected, probably or basically means that that person is the primus inter pares, is the one who has distinguished himself and acquitted himself creditably for the people to have chosen him or her over the other person. People make arguments about institutional memory, but there are a lot of people who have been in Parliament since 2004, and we have not seen much from them. We've seen new entrants like Sam Okujato Ablakwa, we've seen Sam George, and some other young legislators who have really proven that it doesn't really matter how long you sat in Parliament, but your skills, your dexterity, adroitness, your team play and all of that ensures that you can also contribute to the business of the day. For me, I'm an advocate of term limit, and do not think that some people should be protected or cushioned, or some special legislations made for people to stay on in Parliament if the mandate does not come from the people. Because if the election is done and you are chosen, then fair enough, that is the decision of the people. If you lose, then of course the people feel that you have overstayed your welcome, or probably you have not distinguished yourself, or your proper role, which is to ensure or lead development in your community or constituency, has not been properly carried out. So you should leave. People like Alban Kingsford Bagbin has not been kept in Parliament because of his longevity, but because of the work he's been doing in Adoli Kaleo. The majority leader, Haruna Idrisu, is also very formidable within his constituency. And any other person who has been there, I'm sure, has done creditably well. That's why he's been kept there. So for me, keeping people in Parliament because of how long they served, the institutional memory arguments and all of that, for me, I feel that it is a very weak argument. People should be elected when they present themselves. Elections must always be allowed to go on. That is essential and critical index to democracy.
The add-on to that conversation since December 7 has been the political parties' primaries, choosing members to contest on party tickets that the public may not necessarily be in favor of. So even after, on a day like this, when an MP has been sworn in, the question then arises, who is the boss of the MP? Is it the party or the constituency?
Well, for me, I think that this has been one of the anticlimaxes, or probably one of the doings of the NPP in Parliament, because a lot of the votes were protest voting. Someone like Asibe Ebua, who served on the Finance Committee for a very long time, making way for Ochebe Efi, CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Board, and so many other young people who were tagged as the darling boys of the Flagstaff House, moved into constituencies with lots of resources to displace people who were concentrating on parliamentary business and doing some really good job for the people. But due to certain reasons of the powers that be, due to certain alignment and also some collaborations, thinking that they are building their own power blocks, pushed these young people to parliament, displacing the people's choice. And one of them was even in Formina, where the people insisted that they wanted their own MP. You found the General Secretary of the MPP who was making some comments that were quite unpalatable. People still voted for the Formina MPs in Parliament today.
And he had to come back to eat humble pie, didn't he?
Yes, he had to. And I believe that going forward, all parties must learn from this. They should leave the election of the MPs to the people. When the people decide to make a choice, they should allow that choice to fester and not push resources to young people who have not done so much to merit a representation of the people.
But some people, Esther disagrees.
Yeah,
because
I mean, the last statement to say that young people who are, no, please. I mean, there are older folks that who have never distinguished themselves or done anything better in Parliament. They are there. But the argument is, I support what you just asked, that we need to protect some of the people. The political party has a responsibility, and their responsibility to Ghanaians is that they need to present to us credible candidates that can help the development of Ghana. You are talking about the likes of Marcus Beyebua.
Yeah.
The work of Parliament and the Finance Committee can never be gone unnoticed. His contribution, he did fantastic, and such a person need to be protected by the party. The party have to know that we have such a very good resource, and we have to let the Ghanaians feel that we are not just representing them just like that. There's not the numbers, but it's the quality. Gone were the days when everybody could say, hey, as for MPP there, if you go to MPP, the kind of leaders, the kind of educated people that they will give you as members of Parliament. We mentioned the likes of Buzias and all that who started all these things for them, and we are there. To me, I think it's important that the political parties do not look at they should look at their delegates election process and not to make it seem as the highest bidder get the order of the day. There are some people who are very credible. You need them in there. How many of our current MPs have expertise in finance? That's what you have to ask yourself.
Right, but Esther, even though you agree with me, I mean, if what you are saying is anything to go by, it means that then the likes of Isaac Adongo, the likes of Sam George, the likes of Francis Sosu Xavier, who is now in Parliament, may never come to Parliament. These are new discoveries.
No,
Isaac Adongo, for instance, has been very phenomenal on the Finance Committee. So if you are protecting somebody, it means that people like him will get an opportunity to be there.
It's really about protecting somebody.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You see, the whole political party structure, the party delegates really do not understand and appreciate the role of the people they are sending them to Parliament. So their understanding is that the highest bidder get the best of the day. All the people you've mentioned their names, they've gone to hell. Francis Osu, last 4 years, couldn't make any impact because the person that had enough resource to get the delegates to vote for him. So it is about time that the political parties, as a major and the most important democratic institution in our today's democracy and governance, have to really start practicing internal democracy and start letting the people know the roles and funds. Constituents never rejected them. Right. The parties are saying we don't want you, and they left. And like he rightly said, some of the people who went with a lot of money. We need. That's why I agree with President Kufuor when he was talking about TEFOS. I mean a third chamber. second chamber or something like that.
Yeah,
We need
the upper chamber.
Yes,
we need experienced people like
experience and intellectuals in our parliament to be making laws and to be making sure that the things that they are doing really affect the average Ghanaian. You see,
yes, from what we are seeing, that we are getting closer and closer to the actual climax of the proceedings we've witnessed from last night, and we've just seen Speaker Right Honorable Alban Bagbin entering the chamber with his entourage, and we expect that very shortly Vice President-elect and President-elect will also enter the chamber, and the subsequent swearing in for the two gentlemen will be done. I've seen Mrs. Samia Bawumia has taken from the Dome Parliament House, where the investiture of President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is about to take place very, very shortly.
I think that we have to look at what this thing also brings on the Ghanaians.
And some of the expectations that we, before the president is sworn in, you know, I think we need this 8th parliament to be very, very sensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. I think there are certain key, very sensitive issues for me as a gender person I would want them to start working on. We can't live in a country where condom is free
and pads are
not free.
I saw that coming.
20% tax is on sanitary pads for young women. How do you do this in a developing country where even the UKs are giving sanitary pads to school children for free? These are sensitive issues that this 8th parliament have to be looking at. We have to look at youth unemployment, sustainable youth unemployment, where employment ideas will be tailored on the table. We don't need the old men to go and sit down and be telling us and rebranding from youth unemployment,
NYEP to years to
NAPCO. No. Yeah. We need this parliament to invite young people to sit down with them, have conversations with them, and see where they can really make laws to support. Now, COVID has shown us that infrastructure, ICT and all that in Ghana is low. There are a lot of opportunity in this area where a chunk of our young people are there. But the young people are not on the table of discussion. And so we need parliament, this 8th parliament, to make sure that issues that concern young people are given prominence.
Right.
There are a lot of young women. I'm happy to see young women in parliament. I'm happy to see some young men. All these people have to really relay with their constituents, which is the young people, and give this 8th parliament a very credible and informed position when it comes to youth development. It's enough to develop the policies, but when implementation is not there. I remember where Ras Mubarak was the head, they developed a youth policy with an implementation strategy. It didn't see anything. I mean, the implementation never was successful. Now we are seeing this current one also went through a different policy development and all that. Now we have a different parliament. We need them to have a critical focus on all these key issues that is affecting young people.
Of sitting, we resume the day sitting for the swearing in of the president-elect and the vice president-elect. But before we do that, I will need to formally recognize the presence in the House of a long list of very important dignitaries. So, honorable members, please spare me a few minutes and listen to the names of dignitaries all over the world that have taken time and trouble in this COVID era to come and be part of this swearing ceremony. The heads of delegations, excellencies, and dignitaries include the following: His Excellency Mr. Sassou Nguesso, President of the Republic of Congo. His Excellency Mr. Faure Gnassingbé, President of the Republic of Togo. His Excellency Mr. Alassane Ouattara, President of Côte d'Ivoire. Honorable members, I've just been reliably informed that His Excellency, the President-elect, is just at the entrance. And so I want to invite the leaders of the parliamentary groups in Parliament to accompany me to usher in His Excellency, the President-elect. After that, I will take some time to go through the rest of the names.
at the forecourt of Parliament. You see in your shots the arrival of the President-elect, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his wife, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. We also have seen the Vice President-elect, Dr. Bawumia. They've made their way into the dome, which will be the venue for the inaugural ceremony, as we see on our screens. It does appear that all is set for the official swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. In your shot is Samira Bawumia a while ago, and the wife of the President, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, there in your shot. We also see the President of Togo in our shot, Faure Gnassingbé, there, and pretty shortly the main event would commence at the forecourt of Parliament. And seated is the Speaker of the 8th Parliament. He will be the 7th Speaker in the 4th.
And His Excellency the President-elect. I will want to, on your behalf, welcome them to the August House of Parliament and crave your indulgence to permit me to acknowledge, as I was doing, the presence of these distinguished personalities that have traveled all the way to come and honor the swearing-in of His Excellency the President and His Excellency the Vice President. As I told you, the list is quite long, but I'll endeavor to take just a few minutes to acknowledge them on your behalf. We also have in our presence His Excellency Professor Alpha Condé, President of the Republic of Guinea. His Excellency Mr. Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal. His Excellency Mr. Mamadou Issoufou, President of the Republic of Niger. In the French, they say Niger. His Excellency Mr. Roch Christian Kabore, President of the Republic of Burkina Faso. His Excellency Mr. George Manneh Weah, you all know him very well, President of the Republic of Liberia. His Excellency Mr. Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. His Excellency Mr. Umaru Sissoko Embalo, President of Guinea-Bissau. His Excellency Dr. Bonito de Souza Baltazar Diego, Vice President of the Republic of Angola. His Excellency Colonel Asmi Goita, Vice President of the Transition in Mali. His Excellency Mr. Rui Figueiredo Soares, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Regional Integration of the Republic of Cape Verde, His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Cassibreu, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Senator Friza Ifua Asangonu, President of the Senate, Republic of Equatorial Guinea, our own Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, Special Representative of the Secretary General, United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, His Excellency Geoffrey Onyama, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Honorable Jean-Yves Le Drian, Minister for Foreign Affairs of France, Mr. V. Muralin Harm, Minister for Foreign Affairs of India, His Excellency Aurélien Agbenonsi, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Benin, Honorable Vincent Biruta, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Rwanda, Mr. Mamadou Tangara, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Gambia, Mr. Pakomi Murbelet Mubeya, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Gabon. And we have also His Excellency John Ajekun Kufuor, former President of the Republic of Ghana. We have Her Excellency Hajia Ramatu Mahama, wife of the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and our own, the Right Honorable Ebenezer Virginia Sechi Hughes, former Speaker of the Parliament, and he's not here alone, he is with his dear wife to honor the swearing in of His Excellency the President-elect of Ghana. We have another former senior member, Honorable Freddie Blay, former Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and now Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. We also have His Excellency Jacoba A.S. Oliver Terhindrazaniri Vulu, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Madagascar, Ambassador Amin Abba Siddiq, Minister for Foreign Affairs, African Integration and Chadians Abroad, His Excellency Mr. Kabanda Kana Andrew, Minister at the Presidency of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mr. James Dudridge, Minister for Africa at the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office of the United Kingdom, Ambassador Peter Pham, Special Envoy for the Sahel region, United Nations, United States of America, His Excellency Richard Wanza, Ambassador of the Republic of Zambia to Ghana, representing the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Edgar Changwa Lungu. His Excellency Emad Madi Hana Kamel, Ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt to Ghana, representing the President of Egypt, His Excellency Abdul Fattah el-Sisi. His Excellency Ms. Imani Kwadil, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Morocco, representing His Majesty King Mohammed VI of the Kingdom of Morocco. We have numerous distinguished members of the diplomatic corps, too many for mention. But before I end, I had acknowledged some of the dignitaries before the arrival of His Excellency the Vice President-elect and His Excellency the President-elect. And so I will just mention them. It's only, I believe, 4 names. So just bear me for a while. His Excellency Mr. Sassou Nguesso, President of the Republic of Congo, is here with us. His Excellency Mr. Faure Gnassingbé, President of the Republic of Togo. His Excellency Mr. Alassane Ouattara, President of Côte d'Ivoire. And I believe the last but not the least, His Excellency Professor Alpha Condé, President of the Republic of Guinea. It's important that I acknowledge the presence of my dear one, I gave a title to the wives of former speakers. And since some are here, if I don't use the same title, I may be charged with discrimination. Since the speakers are right honorable, I humbly proposed, and it was accepted, that their wives be referred to as left honorables. So my dear wife is here, the left honorable Alice Adjoa Jonas. Now, honorable members, with your kind permission, I want to, on behalf of the House and my good self, wish the visiting dignitaries a pleasant stay in our country. Without much ado, I want to move to the next item, and that is to invite His Lordship, the Chief Justice, to administer the oath to the Vice President-elect. Your Lordship, you may carry on.
I, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold
that I will uphold
the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
and that I will preserve, protect, and defend
the
Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God. I, Mahamudu Bawumia,
having been elected to the office of the Vice President
having been elected to the office of the Vice President
of the Republic of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will at all times
preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And
I will dedicate
myself to the service and well-being
of the people of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana, and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Congratulations.
Alhaji Vice President, on behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I congratulate you on your assumption of the office of the land as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Congratulations. Honorable members, before I go to the main item, my attention has been drawn to the presence in this August House of some special dignitaries that we cannot afford not to recognize. It's important that we recognize the presence of Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo, First Lady of the Republic of Ghana. We also have with us Her Excellency Ramatu Bawumia, well, I don't know whether she swore an affidavit to change her name, but that was what they submitted to me. So, Your Excellency, I apologize on behalf of the House for the mix-up. She is Her Excellency Samira Bawumia, spouse of the Vice President of Ghana, who is the second lady of the Republic. We also have our revered traditional leader, the Paramount Chief, but I'm not recognizing him because of that title. I'm doing so because he is the chairman of the Council of State in the person of Nana Otu-Sribour. And now, the purpose for which we are here. I have your permission to invite His Lordship, the Chief Justice, to administer the oath to the President-elect. Chief Justice, you may do so now.
I, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of Ghana
to the Republic of Ghana
as by law established,
that I will uphold
the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana,
and that I will preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God. I, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo,
having been elected
to
the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana,
to the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana,
and true to the Republic of Ghana,
that I will at all times
preserve,
protect, and defend
the
Constitution of the Republic of Ghana,
the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana,
and that I dedicate myself
to
the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana,
to the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana,
and to do right
and to do right
to all manner of persons.
to all manner of persons.
I further solemnly swear
I further solemnly swear
that should I at any time
that should I at any time
break this oath of office,
break this oath of office,
I shall submit myself
I shall submit myself
to the laws of the Republic of Ghana
to the laws of the Republic of Ghana
and suffer the penalty for it.
and suffer the penalty for it.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Hold that, please.
Want me to fill this in?
Mr. President, on behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I congratulate you on your assumption of the highest office of the land as President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable members, I have the pleasure and honor to invite the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to deliver the inaugural address. Mr. President, you may proceed to deliver your address.
Mr. Speaker, I extend a hearty Akwaba, our word of welcome to the Excellencies, the distinguished leaders of sister states from our region and continent, as well as to eminent representatives from other friendly nations and international organizations who are gathered here in the vibrant city of Accra, capital of Ghana, to join us on this auspicious occasion. I thank each and every one of you for being present at this inauguration of my second mandate, COVID-19 notwithstanding. Your attendance is an expression of solidarity and friendship that speaks volumes of your attachment to the goals and aspirations of the Ghanaian people and state, for which we are very grateful. I must at the outset express my warm congratulations to my good friend and colleague of many years in this House, the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, on his assumption of office as the Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. Nearly 3 decades of devoted service to Parliament by you has culminated in this moment, which has seen your elevation to the 3rd great office of state of our nation. Together, you and I will be charting new territory in the governance and politics of the 4th Republic. For this is the first time in the life of the Republic that a president from one party will be obliged by the exigencies of the moment and the will of the people to work in all sincerity and cooperation with a Speaker of Parliament from another party. I'm confident that both of us will be guided in our relationship by the supreme interest of our people in ensuring good governance in the ordering of the affairs of state. I want to show you my wholehearted determination to work with you to advance the peace, progress, and prosperity of the Ghanaian people. Once again, many congratulations to you and the re-elected and new members of Parliament. A few moments ago, I took for the second time the oath of office to serve as President of the Republic of Ghana. I follow in the exalted footsteps of 2 of my predecessors, the first and second presidents of the 4th Republic, Their Excellencies Jerry John Rawlings and John Agyekum Kufuor, who served 2 successive terms in office. I cannot therefore take this honor and privilege bestowed on my mother's self lightly, and I thank Almighty God and the Ghanaian people who by an emphatic margin renewed my mandate in office for 4 more years in the elections of 7th December. It is a demonstration of the confidence and trust you, the Ghanaian people, have reposed in me not only in appreciation for the achievements throughout my first 4 years, but more significantly, for the considerable amount of work that is to be done over the next 4 years. In our drive to take our nation firmly onto the path of progress, prosperity, and development, following the havoc wreaked by COVID-19. This is a task I wholeheartedly accept, and I assure all Ghanaians that I'll do my best to deliver on this mandate. The accomplishment of this mandate is going to take place within the context of Ghana's maturing democracy. The Ghanaian people have manifested time and again in these 28 years of the Fourth Republic their determination to build a free, democratic, peaceful nation which is respectful of individual liberties and human rights, the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability. A governance structure built on the separation of powers provides the best vehicle for the protection of these values, with a well-resourced judiciary and parliament as the principal accountability organs of the state. This has been the main thrust of public policy in these past 4 years and will continue to be so in the next. The unity and stability of our country are the welcome outcomes of such a development. This is how we can ensure, in the words of one of the great figures of Ghanaian nationalism, the illustrious Joseph Boakai Dankwa, that we have, quote, a system of government under which those who are in control of government are under the control of those who are governed, unquote. Mr. Speaker, the sheer can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, which I have witnessed all my life, is the bedrock on which we can build the Ghana of our dreams. Indeed, 4 years ago at my first inauguration, I urged all Ghanaians to be, and I quote, citizens and not spectators, unquote. I appeal to you to be active participants in the effort to help build the Ghana we want, the democratic, free, prosperous, and united Ghana envisaged by our founding fathers as the Black Star of Africa. In my first term as president, I was able to count on the contribution of all citizens in attempting to create this Ghana. What I have seen these last 4 years is further evidence, if any were needed, that the Ghanaian will no longer accept poverty and deprivation as his or her portion, but is rather determined to work to chart a path of growth and development for himself or herself. Today, our economy, even in the face of the global pandemic of COVID-19, continues to show resilience and a much faster rate of recovery than originally envisaged, and was indeed one of the fastest growing economies in the world in 2020. Ghana remains one of the most attractive destinations on the continent for direct foreign investment, with the presence in the country of some of the world's largest conglomerates attesting to this fact. Establishing a strong economy, undergoing structural transformation to value-added activities, which will generate jobs for our young people and enhance their living standards, will be the main preoccupation of my second term. Together, we're ensuring that the basic tenets of social justice are met. Many said it was beyond us, but we have ensured that financial considerations no longer determine the fate of the Ghanaian child. Because of the implementation of the free senior high school policy, once willing and able, senior high school education is the minimum education to be received by every Ghanaian child. Access to quality health care is no more a luxury ordinary people cannot afford, following the revival of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Our aim is to reach universal health coverage as soon as possible. Food production has increased significantly, and a conscious effort has been made to improve the living standards of our farmers. The newly constructed warehouses dotted across the country are storing the surpluses for export to our neighbors, and the program for planting for food and jobs has become the veritable rock on which the successful future of our agriculture is being built. Our roads are being constructed at a much faster pace than before, and yes, I acknowledge that there are still many more kilometers to construct. We defined last year as the year of roads. This year will be the second year of roads. As we continue with our focus on dealing with the deficit in our road infrastructure, the development of our rail sector, on which considerable resources and energies are being devoted, will open up the country and lead to the creation of a more connected society, and will also help realize the goal of regional and continental integration. The arrival of COVID-19 drove home the lesson to all of us that we have to be self-reliant. The pandemic has emphasized the fact that we cannot continue to be living on edge in a day-to-day economy. This is dangerous for our survival, and it's important that we set up buffers of protection in all aspects of our lives. So when there was a shortage in the supply of personal protective equipment, at a time when they were being sold at extortionate prices on the world market, the enterprise of the Ghanaian shone through. We produced right here in Ghana our own sanitizers, face masks, medical scrubs, gowns, liquid soap, amongst others. We can indeed build a Ghana beyond aid if we make full use, as we must, of the enterprise and ingenuity of our people, especially our young people. The prominent role being played by young people in the digitization journey of our nation is strong proof of the feasibility of this objective. Ghana is set to become one of the most digitized economies in Africa in the next few years. In this same vein, I expect the locally produced Eku juice, one of the results of government's One District, One Factory flagship policy, to replace rapidly the imported fruit juices on the shelves of our supermarkets. Not because anyone will so decree, but because the quality of the locally produced one is as good, if not superior. I doubt, Mr. Speaker, that anyone would ordinarily mention Akpeteshi, the local gin, as a possible item on the world market. I cannot vouch for its taste or potency, since I gave up alcohol many years ago. But I can say that the made in Ghana and beautifully packaged Epu I have recently seen can compete in the most sophisticated markets in the world. My boundless confidence in the energy of the Ghanaian makes me believe that we can become the prosperous nation we aspire to, and soon. We have good reason to be proud of what we have been able to achieve so far. Mr. Speaker, we know that the democracy we seek to build and entrench in Ghana will ultimately succeed if we build a prosperous nation and our people are at peace with themselves and with the world. I pledge before this august house and the good people of Ghana that I will do all I do will be for the common good. And with the firm foundation laid in my first term of office, we shall take a significant step towards reducing the infrastructure deficit that has placed us all throughout our nationhood. The remaining 15% of our communities without electricity will be covered by the end of my second term. We have already begun constructing hospitals in the remaining districts that do not have one, a process which will be completed within the year. The percentage of Ghanaians without access to potable water is set to reduce significantly following the commencement of work on a number of water supply projects across all parts of the country. The majority of our people live in unacceptable housing, and we shall tackle the problem with vigor. With discipline and caution, just as we have done since March 2020, we in Ghana can continue to reduce the number of active cases of COVID-19, which currently stands at a little over 900, and open up our country again to the rest of the region, continent, and the entire world. We have taken the bold step of reopening all our schools again because our fundamental conviction that education is the key to our future. We will do everything possible to ensure not only the safety of the children, but of teachers and non-teaching staff as well. We Ghanaians have always been very much aware of our place in our neighborhood, in our continent, and in the world. We recognize that poverty and insecurity plague our region, and thus we shall continue to make our voice carry the weight of our convictions and contribute to making our world a safer and happier place. We shall play our full part in the deliberations and activities of all the organizations to which we belong: ECOWAS, the African Union, Commonwealth, La Francophonie, the United Nations, and others. Ghana, which has the privilege of hosting the Secretariat of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, intends to be one of the main drivers of its success. The AFCFTA provides us Africans with a great opportunity to exploit and develop our resources for the benefit of our own people and end the centuries-old exploitation of our continent's vast wealth for the benefit of others. In the words of the historic first leader of our nation, the celebrated Kwame Nkrumah, and I quote, "It is clear that we must find an African solution to our problems, and that this can only be found in African unity. Divided we are weak. United, Africa could become one of the greatest forces for good in the world," unquote. To my fellow Ghanaians, I invite all of you to join in the exciting business of developing our country. There are endless opportunities if we remain united. What our forebears dreamed of, we will achieve. If we inherited dreams and visions from our founding fathers, we should leave legacies of achievements and realities to our children and their children. For I believe in the limitless prospects of Ghana and of us, her people. So let us be up and doing, and with faith in the Almighty, seize our destiny. Mr. Speaker, may God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. Your Excellencies, once again, Akwaba, I thank you for your attention.
Mr. President, on behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I sincerely thank you for your inaugural address. I also wish you and the Vice President well in the administration of the country. Honorable members, having listened to His Excellency the President, I think the main item is over, and I want any indication from the leaders of the House. I see the honorable member for Swami constituency, Honorable Oseche Mensah Bonsu. Any indication?
Speaker, today, Thursday, the 7th of January, has been a very momentous occasion. We have had to elect the Speaker of Parliament and his two deputies for the 8th Parliament. In turn, the Speaker has also had to swear in members of Parliament elect. Then, as we find ourselves in the tent now, we've witnessed the swearing in of His Excellency the President and his Vice President. The President and indeed Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. The day has been long. It was tortuous and indeed rather laboring time. For the newly sworn in members of Parliament, the day began yesterday before 11 p.m., which means that they have had to endure almost 15 hours since yesterday without blinking our eyes. There is a lot of wisdom in beginning the swearing in process soon after midnight, and the events of today bear ample testimony in the wisdom contained in this exercise. The Speaker has said there has not been any indication from you about the extension of the sitting, and that being the case, I believe any member at any time stated for the closing may move for adjournment of the House as provided for by our orders, Order 44. In the circumstance, and given the discussions that we had this morning, that is between myself and the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, may I move that the House takes an adjournment until Friday next week at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Speaker, I do so move.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved for adjournment of the House. Any seconder?
Sorry. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Honorable members, motion for the adjournment of the House moved and seconded. It's now for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor for adjournment, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I don't want to prolong your long dry fast. I have myself fasted more than I've ever done. Honorable members, there is a very vigorous attempt to arrest the motion. And I want to crave your intelligence to permit just a few minutes, because it's a request I cannot turn down. We are being called upon to give an opportunity to one of our visiting dignitaries to at least say a word or two of gratitude to His Excellency the President. This is the request, and I'm told it's coming from the highest office. And so, with your kind indulgence, may I invite His Excellency Professor Alpha Conde to say a few words of thanks in response to the address, inaugural address of His Excellency the President of Ghana. Your Excellency, you may proceed to the podium. I've done that.
Je voudrais dire d'abord que c'est un grand plaisir, un grand honneur pour nous d'assister à la prestation de serment de notre frère et ami président Nana Addo, d'autant plus que nous n'oublions pas le rôle qu'a joué le président Nkrumah. Tout ce qu'il a dit, c'est vérifié. Il a dit, si l'Afrique ne s'unit pas, voilà ce qui va arriver. Et tout ce qu'il a prédit est arrivé. Donc c'est une grande fierté pour nous de nous retrouver au Ghana. Et nous remercions tous les chefs d'État qui se sont déplacés pour rendre hommage à notre frère. Et nous savons que sous sa direction, le Ghana va faire des pas de géant. Et le peuple ghanéen peut compter sur l'ensemble des chefs d'État de la CEDEAO et de l'Union africaine pour accompagner notre frère pour le mieux et pour le bonheur du peuple du Ghana. Je vous remercie.
Your Excellency, Professor Alpha Conde, on behalf of the House, we want to thank you so much for the words of congratulations. In fact, I started revising my French notes, and I think I got a few words of what you said. We thank you so much. Honorable members, I'll have to put the question again. Those in favor of an adjournment of the House, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned to Friday, the 15th day of January at 10 in the forenoon. The House is adjourned.